Hey everyone, welcome to my second AOE build video, where the last one was quite a while ago. I believe it was like a mod 26 video. So yeah, this is the updated version. It's not that different. So if you don't have some of the stuff and you want to use some of the old gear or something, I can link the old guide down in the description for you to have a look. Other than that, yeah, let's talk about the build. I'm gonna try and be as comprehensive as possible, so if there's sections where you're like, I know that, I don't care, feel free to skip to what you want to know. First, let's start with the gear, and I'm gonna talk you through my decisions and any possible alternatives. So, firstly, this is a helmet that gives 10% accuracy. And at first glance, it's a bit iffy because it's also when your stamina is over 75%, which at AoE you can't always guarantee because you could be like dodging around, or maybe you're dodging forward to try and be really fast and beat everyone else. So it's a bit iffy about whether you get that, but I honestly tried to sit down and see if there's any better helmet for AoE on an Arbiter. And all the new helmets are like, oh, 5 seconds in combat, you get these stats. And that's just not ideal for AoE. That's not really what you want. So, yeah, this is what I settled on for now. We'll see if I find anything better. This starts as legendary in Menzo, so you can buy it with the currency in the campaign store, and then in Demon Web Pits, the campaign store, you can upgrade it to Mythic. Then with the chestplate, this is a new one from Master Mad Dragon, Lair of Mad Dragon, whatever. And this is just replacing the dragon chest piece. It's the same kind of thing, but higher item level. Maybe the stats are a bit different. And yeah, this is good because it gives you a lot of stacks. It being 5 stacks is not ideal, but it's fine. With these gloves, these are from Imperial Citadel, but there's also the alternative from Moon Dancer, which is lower item level, or there's a new one which is higher item level, but quite frankly, I don't think it's very good for DPS. You're welcome to use either one of those if you prefer them. And I don't think I really need to explain these gloves that much. I think they're really well known by now that it's really good to have a increased divinity. So yeah, these are very good and you should be using them. In terms of weapons, I still think these are the best AoE weapons. This is from Imperial Citadel, I want to say, but I might be wrong because there's so many origins from gear. So if it's wrong, then it's wrong. And yeah, so this is good because additional damage based on the difference between player and the target. In AoE, I think that's pretty good, and you also get a 3% damage boost. And yeah, that's just like it's nice. It's high item level. Why not? These boots are from specifically Master Demon Web Pits. They drop from the second boss by chance if you're lucky. And yeah, you get 2% combat advantage for every enemy out of 10 possible enemies, so maximum 20%. My trick with using these boots is to not heavily rely on all the stacks because I personally don't count how many targets there are around me while I do AoE, but if it's not 10, you're gonna start losing some of the percentages. So I have tried to make my combat advantage over 90, like overshoot a little bit, so that technically I don't need the 20%. And yeah, just bear that in mind. Then for neck, I used to use different sets, but then I was playing around with testing them. And honestly, even though it's low item level compared to what we could put here, it's still really good. It gives you stacks of damage up to 5% every time you critically hit with anything, which is often, like very often. So you basically always have the 5%. And then also 5 critical strikes in a row, you do additional 150 magnitude damage, which is not a low number. And it generally does happen. While testing it, I got it a few times, so it does happen. Yeah, I tested it mainly against the Spelljammer set because that's really high item level and that's the highest item level that I have, so I wanted to see how much that would affect, like, does the damage that it gives here, is it not worth it because of the item level? And that's what I tested. And what I ended up finding out that even though I wasn't buffed, so I was also getting that 7% combat advantage because I was in combat the whole time and damaging on and off, this was still doing better. So it had the item level advantage and 7% combat advantage, and this still did better than the Spelljammer. But there's a different set, which is the Masterwork, where you only need neck and waist, and it's also pretty good because you get stacks of accuracy and recharge speed, which are nice for AoE. When you only need to hit 3 times, so you get them really fast. But I have too much accuracy in this build, so I didn't opt for that, but that's certainly an option. For the rings, these two are from Master Demon Web Pits, and they're from the chests at the end. The first one, when you strike 3 enemies or more, which is going to be most of the time in AoE, you do additional 6% damage. It's very nice. And then this ring is just an encounter ring, so your encounters do more damage, which is what you're mostly using in AoE anyway. And then stacking those two together, if you're close enough to any of the AoE stuff, then you do 2.5% more damage. I don't know how often this happens, because again, I don't really look at where I'm positioned as much. I just kill. So it might not, but I think these two are really good rings to have anyway, even without the 2.5%. For this shirt, this is new from mod 29. This is not the ideal shirt because the stats aren't the ideal one, like deflection, outgoing healing, stuff like that. I think there's a one that gives a combat advantage and something else, which is gonna be better, but I don't have that shirt, so I put this one on for now. With the equip power, you have a 10% chance, which is not that bad, to reduce your cooldown by a whopping 1.2%, and that's every 5 seconds. So that's really good because of chains. It's really good. I did test it. I was actually surprised by how often it procced. So it's really nice because something that I realized was happening is that we'd do one group of mobs, kill them, move to the next one, and I'm like 2 seconds away from getting my chains. So that's a way to fix that. And then for the pants, also from the new mod, these are both from the end chest from Master Lair of the Mad Dragon, by the way. And this is just giving you AP in AoE. So both of these are nice because they're higher item level, but I also think that the powers they give is quite nice for AoE. I do use my daily. This is a very good AoE daily, so it is quite nice to get it up more often. Additionally, there are other options for shirt and trousers. All sorts, like getting more combat advantage if you need stats in the pants, or this damage shirt depending on where you are, or this combat advantage shirt if your combat advantage is too low. So there's all sort of different options for you to have a look at. In terms of enhancements, quite literally just put stats that I need. So this is really like variable. It depends on what you need. And artifacts have to have the demo slotted in for the set. These I put for stats, especially this one for stamina regen because of this helmet, just to maybe help it with its uptime. I don't know. And this is just variable. The last artifact that I used was crystal on an ST, so I just put whatever I'm using on ST so I could quickly switch them in dungeons. So this always changes, basically. In terms of overloads, I like putting Devil's Precision for accuracy and crit strike in AoE, just for the extra damage. And then also either Rage of Flames or just like a Slayer specific to the region. Okay, powers, Searing Javelin, Daunting Light, Chains of Blazing Light, and I haven't actually seen that many people use chains. I see a lot of people using Forge Master's Flame, but I don't know if there is a specific reason or if you guys just don't know that we get Doomsayer on chains, and you know Doomsayer gives you 10% more damage for 10 seconds. So if people don't know that, I think you should use chains. for the daily. This is just a lot of AoE damage over 18 seconds, so yeah, and then expanded divinity because honestly, it just makes it a lot easier to use like encounters. So I'm not like stuck on the encounters, yeah. And then you have to take this to improve Flame Strike. Boons, I'm not really gonna go through them that much because I think these are really general. A lot of these are general stuff that you take for AoE, but I'll just hover over them so you can see roughly what it does, but I don't see much value in going through these. Cool. Companions. Yeah, these are all just new for the stats I need from the mod 29 from the campaign. I use Mince because I saw that he's a pretty decent AoE guy, but there's better. He's not the best, so feel free to switch him out with whichever one you want to use. I use Precision because I need Crit Strike. And I did actually check, it procs more than I thought it would. I thought it wouldn't proc like at all in AoE, but it does actually. You do actually get it, so yeah. This damage, which is nice. Common Advantage, which is stats I need. Now, I don't have any other like damaging stuff because Batiri and Minsk are both like ST kind of things, so they don't work as well. So I just put more stats, which I guess is why I have so much. So yeah, these are just more stats, and this is Raptor. Next, we have mounts. So I like using Vortex because it's good for the team. It gathers everything up, so it helps everyone, helps me. But there's other options for stuff that you can use, like Pegasus, even though the magnitude is quite low, or I don't know. I don't have a lot of AoE mounts, but anything that you prefer you can use instead. And then I also use Ferocity because when me or someone else in the team gets hit, I have a chance to get this stack that makes me do more damage, and it's AoE. This is going to be very frequently, especially on the tank. This is just what I use. I don't have all my colors to Mythic yet, so I guess there's still more potential for more item level. But yeah, these are mostly stats. I have a little bit for Summer Companion doing more damage, and then I have a little bit for moving faster, because it's AoE. Yeah, I use Spiderbox for the stats. I use Doohickey sometimes when I can fit it in, just for the extra 300 magnitude damage, but the animation is really slow, so I'm not very sure on it. And then these up here are the buffs that I tend to use. I use Sorbet in a lot of my ST builds now, so I just consider it as something that I use in AoE because I'm most likely will have it anyway. Yeah, these are just like the traditional giving stats stuff, and this is from Guild Food. Yeah, that's it for me. If anyone enjoyed the guide, feel free to leave a like. If you have any other ideas or whatnot, I'm happy to have a discussion in the comments chat. And if you want to see me play live, I do actually stream on Twitch, so you can ask me stuff live, or you can just watch the gameplay live for all sort of stuff, because I do stream master content. So yeah, thanks. See you guys later.